What? It's Independence Day, and I want to just make one observation to those of you on this very happy days of days, guys. I absolutely love and I believe in our Declaration of Independence. I love our Constitution. None of these things are outdated, especially our Bill of Rights. None of these things are outdated, guys. They are concepts that you need to revisit, you need to embrace, you absolutely need to rethink. And the example that I wanted to talk about today is this notion and this fiction that somehow we live in a democracy when we don't. All right, a democracy can be just as tyrannical and bad. Historically, it always has been. There hasn't been an example of a successful pure democracy. It just hasn't happened. And they typically devolve into a evil tyrannical form to where you have a small collective that ends up making decisions and can sit there and maintain power through violence. But it ends up being the violence that it was given by that collective. No different than a communism and a socialism, where these ideas of the people, these grand ideas, to where the people rule. When in reality, every time I've ever seen a historical example, it's always a small collective of people ruling and subjugating the majority. And we have very, very bad examples in the 20th century, and I don't understand why people continue to go back to it, going, well, if I was in charge, I would do different. I would do things differently, and it's never been done differently either. All right, you look at Pol Pot, you look at Mao Zedong, you look at Soviet Union with Lenin. Marx was a crackpot, guys, and evil ideology is evil ideology. Might sound good, guys, but there's always evil at the end of it. Same thing with democracy. Sounds great, but we live in a democracy. I mean, we live in a republic, and we live in a republic that has fractured levels of government. So it's not concentrated in a few departments. That's on a federal level, and that's also on a state level. So you have an executive in the form of a president or a governor, you have a Congress and a legislature, and then you have your judicial branches. Each one of them have outlined and delineated responsibilities, or you should. That is what keeps us free. But the biggest thing that keeps us free is this idea of individualism. That is how I protect your child as a civil rights attorney focusing on special education law. I protect your child because of the concepts of individualism that are encapsulated and captured and absolutely solidified in our Bill of Rights, because it starts from this concept that you as an individual have value, and that you as an individual, the minute you're born, have the right to free speech, the right to assemble, the right to protect yourself, the right to be free of molestation of your property and of your house from search and seizure. You have a right to own. There's all these things that the government's not giving you, guys. You are born with those rights. And these are concepts that are fairly new to humankind. The default has always been slavery and subjugation. So this grand experiment known as the United States, it's still ongoing. It's still a grand experiment, but there's no guarantee that we're going to be able to maintain this level of autonomy and freedom based upon the individual. It's working. It has worked. And it mainly works on an individual level. I'm not saying it works on a national level, because I tell you, I'm extremely frustrated with our corrupt government and our corrupt state governments. I have to deal with them all the time. I have to deal with our corrupt school governments. And they frustrate me. But I look around at individuals that I interact with, and the majority of the time, individuals are acting responsibly. Individuals are free. They just want to be left alone. And I end up looking at them, and they're having the same ideas that I do, that I wish the government would get off my back and leave me alone and let me just live my life and not take all my money to spend on things that don't matter. And that hurt people instead of help people. We've had a very progressive mindset since our founding, guys. We have evolved as a human race in this country from the beginnings, from our Declaration of Independence, where our founders put the poison pill into the Declaration by shouting as loud as they could that all men are created equal at a time when that was not the case. They didn't have to put that in, guys. They put it in intentionally because it had to be dealt with. Human progress, human evolution, they had to deal with that. So they inserted a poison pill through declaring loudly that all men are created equal at a time when only landed Europeans could vote, which was then extended out to poorer landed individual or poorer individuals, which then extended, Civil War, then extended that to African American men, still disenfranchising women, but human progress was occurring. human evolution of thought, our ideas of liberty, our ideas of freedom, they started expanding and expanding and expanding to where, guys, we have captured all groups that, quite frankly, we need to. But I'm just saying, as far as human thought and human evolution, we have done that and we have extended that. We should be proud of ourselves and we should be proud of our ancestors as much as we question the decisions that they may have made and the actions that they may have done. Nobody is perfect. No race, no gender, no ethnicity, no religion. Everybody has exacted some kind of abuse upon another. We have no more room to judge anybody without judging ourselves as well. And it's easy to throw stones at dead people and then puff yourself up thinking that somehow we're above the crap and the insanity and the corruptness, which we're not. I mean, my God, who would have ever thought that I would live in a day to where we have these founding documents, these freedom documents, to where hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Americans lost their lives in the Civil War, to solidify forever and forever that slavery is outlawed. Fast forward to 21st century in 2023, we have a huge problem with human trafficking, child and women, sexual exploitation, and slavery, guys. Slavery in the United States of America. And it's being permitted and allowed. So do we have room and judgment to sit there and cast stones at dead people, or should we be looking at what we're not doing to ensure that this freedom and this liberty is extended to all people, including those that, we sit there and go, oh, what am I going to be able to do about it? Well, what could anybody do back then? But I tell you what, a lot of our ancestors lost their lives fighting to keep this country together and fighting to rid this country of that evil of slavery. Perspective. We need to have proper perspective. We need to relearn to love this country and learn to love the concepts that everybody in the world is clamoring to come here and enjoy, because that is what's happening, guys. Everybody in the world wants to come here. Why? If it's so evil, if it's so bad, as some people believe, some of you might believe that. And why are people coming here? Why are they wanting to come here if it's that bad? Because it's not bad, guys. They're coming here for the same reasons that our ancestors came here. It's the same reason that our indigenous peoples have embraced the very ideas that keep their nations together. Because, guys, there's no monopoly for these ideals. These aren't European mindsets. These are human truths captured on paper that have benefited every ethnicity, every race, every religion, every gender. Everybody. And so this country is a composition of all of those things. And what binds us together is not blood, it is not religion, it is not ethnicity, it is not identity. What binds us together are the concepts captured in these documents. That's what binds us together, are the concepts of individualism, the concepts of liberty, the concepts of freedom. It's unique in this world. It's unique as far as human history is concerned. Let's not lose it.